祈りに枯れ Buenas tardes. Oh no. One more thing. You can't even help. Let's try this again. I can see myself a little bit. Aloha kakahiyakako. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us here at the San Diego Church's Ikigami Konkō Daijin Grand Ceremony. Today, we will also be honoring those who passed away in the month of October as well. So we'll also be on the Mikama-sama side as well. But today is really for the source of our teachings, the person who is so willing and so obedient to accept divine directive or the Rikyo Shinden, who helped us to learn more about how we can get along with other people and how we can live in this world together as one Ohana. And so today, let's put our hearts into offering appreciation to the source of the teachings, Ikigami Konkō Daijin. Let us begin today with the prayer of sincere Toritsugi. So if you had downloaded, if you have the service order for today, it's if you hover over the hyperlink, it should take you to the prayer for sincere Toritsugi. Let's begin. Prayer of sincere Toritsugi. I am a Konkō believer. I believe in Ikigami Konkō Daijin Tenchi Kane no Kami. I have come today to practice my faith, appreciate and acknowledge the blessings, favors, and interventions of Tenchi Kane no Kami, honor the ancestors, and learn more about the faith of Konkō Daijin. As I learn more about the heart of Tenchi Kane no Kami, I nurture the faith of my spiritual family. Thus, I boldly confess that my mind is alert, my heart is receptive, and I will never be the same as long as I practice the faith and receive Toritsugi. Ikigami Konkō Daijin sama Tenchi Kane no Kami sama. Thank you. Let us begin today's prayer service. Shido Haide, 4 sincere claps. Amatsu no Rito. Takaman no haran ni kamuru marimasu. カムロギカムロミのみこともちですねみよやかんみざなぎのみことつくしのひゅうがんのたちばなのおどのわわぎはらにみそぎはらいたまうときにあれませるはらいどのおかみたちもろもろのまがごとつみけがれよ払いたまい清めたまえと申すことのよしよは松神国津神やおよろずの神たちともに雨の淵駒の耳ぶり立ててきこしめせとかしこみかしこみも申す法の作業時 purification rite Kensen, the rite of offerings. 指導敬礼 Please bow your heads in prayer. ことあげ祭るも尊き天地可年の神のお広前日神金光大神の前に金光教三ネゴ教会長しこみも模索 On this October 18, 2020, at the Konkō Church of San Diego's worship hall, we, your beloved children, offer our hearts of appreciation for allowing us to hold the Ikigami Konkō Daijin grand ceremony. Ikigami Konkō Daijin-sama, you were born the second son of Juhei Shimo Kandori. Even as a child, you were deeply spiritual and religious. You were respectful to the various kamis and Buddhas. From the age of 23, you experienced many hardships in your life, such as the passing of family members. At the age of 42, you experienced a near-death experience, but were saved through your sincere and conscientious faith in Kami. Each experience allowed you to live a life of sincerity, which allowed you to meet Parent Kami. Through your practice of faith, you taught the world how to live a life in which Kami and humanity support one another. On November 15, 1859, you accepted the divine directive that said there are many like yourself who have sincere faith in Kami, but are still suffering. Help them by performing Toritsugi. You had a choice to make at this pivotal point in your life, and you chose to stop farming and dedicate your entire life to serving Kami by turning your home into a worship hall and by performing Toritsugi. You prayed for each person who came seeking your Toritsugi. Then, you shared Kami's heart and teachings with them. You taught them to live the teachings. Those who listened to your words and practiced faith soon began to help others by performing Toritsugi in their own homes. In this manner, the way of Toritsugi was opened and spread within and outside of Japan. Due to your sincere and conscientious faith in Kami, on September of 1868, you received the highest divine name, Ikigami Konkō Daijin. On October 10, 1873, Kami-sama made it clear that you were sent to the world to serve in Tenchi Kana no Kami's place in order to save those suffering. As the world around you became increasingly severe, you began accepting each hardship as a lesson from Parent Kami. By accepting everything as the workings of Kami, Tenchi Kana no Kami supported you in your faith practice. You developed and modeled a relationship where Parent Kami depended on you, and you were dependent on Kami. This is known as Aiyo Kakyo. On September 21st, 1883, Kami-sama revealed, for the sake of all people and for the beloved children with a prayer, I will take you from this world where you will have no more limitations and will be able to save people through the world through Toritsugi. This is for the eternal legacy of Konkō Daijin. Then October 10, 1883, you passed away, and that day has been called Konkō Daijin Day. Ikigami Konkō Daijin-sama, you made a promise to all of us. The promise is, although my form may not be seen, I will go wherever I'm asked to help people. Thus, your sacrifice opened the way of Ikigami Konkō Daijin's Toritsugi to be born and has been handed down from generation to generation for over 160 years. We offer our hearts of love and appreciation to you, Ikigami Konkō Daijin, for choosing to serve Tenchi Kana no Kami. Today, we are gathered together in one heart and in one mind as one ohana to celebrate and honor you. We offer our hearts of appreciation and love for you, for whom without there would be no Konkō-kyo. It is through your sincerity and the gentle nature that through your sincerity and your gentle nature that we followed Tenchi Kana no Kami without question, that you became the source of the teachings. Without Konkō-kyo, there would be no Reverend Shirakami Shinnichiro, Reverend Fujimori Kondo, Reverend Sadashichi Inagaki, Reverend Yasutaro Yukawa, Reverend Tokusaburo Hata, Reverend Yoshiaki Fukuda, Reverends Fumio and Funko Matsui. And finally, there would be no Reverend Norikazu Yukawa and Konkō Church of San Diego. As your precious children, we will do our best to renew ourselves, continue our practice of faith, and live a life of sincerity so that we too can help others and become a kami. We give thanks for the successive Konkō-samas who have continued Ikigami Konkō Daijin Toritsugi for 5 generations. We pray that we will realize the favor and blessings we have in our lives. We will do our best to share this faith with others. By doing this, we are helping them. さらに初代教会長が命の限り新人の道にさえ祭りし、心としてようよう性を揃えて新人実践にそうしみ励ましたまいて、記憶用の役立たしめたまいてもさ。We also offer prayers of appreciation for those ministers who have supported and continued to pray for not just the San Diego Church, but also the flame of faith that continues to burn ever so brightly here in San Diego County. Mahalo Anui for the Reverends Henshin Konkō, Hyoji Konkō, Toyo Saito, Brother Kashimoto, Koichi Seiko Konkō, Kyoshin Watu Igawa, Mitsuo Ishimatsu, Edna Matsuoka, Kazuichi Nogata, Shu Kotsuda, Bishop Amy Uzunoe Chin, Uzunoe Nobuharu Uzunoe, Michinori and Ikue Yagi, and Mitsuko Yasutake. Please keep these ministers in good health so they may be allowed to continue to do their sacred work. We also offer prayers of appreciation for the late Dr. Katsumi Miyai and his wife, Mrs. Choko Miyai, for planting the seed of faith here in San Diego County. Thank you for Mrs. Miyai as she continues to do her utmost to nurture the faiths and hearts and faiths of the members of the North County San Diego Gathering. We ask that you keep her healthy and strong and allow her to continue sharing your message of love and hope with those in and out of San Diego County. Help us to understand the irreverences we have made in the past. We ask that you receive our apologies as we learn to reflect upon ourselves. Please help us to clear away the meguri through practicing our individual faiths. Please allow us to utilize the lessons from our mistakes and provide us the strength to bettering ourselves and move forward. Cleanse our bodies and minds through Toritsugi, where we can receive your words and talk to you for everything, including concerns, anger, and pain in our hearts through the media. Kami-sama, please help us to keep unconditional love and compassion for all in our hearts, especially with what has been occurring in our country and the world. Please use us to make an impact, big or small, on our communities, cities, counties, and country. Sadly, hate crimes and senseless attacks on innocent lives due to their race, color of skin, sexual orientation, nationality, gender identity, ethnicity, etc. continue. We pray that the current economic and world situation improves to enable all of us to have happy and stable lives. We pray for an end to the COVID-19 pandemic, effective vaccines and medications that will help us create a new tenchi where we look after our brothers and sisters. Please provide us the courage and faith to overcome current and future hardships in our lives, and to use these strengths to strengthen our faith and relationships with you. Please continue allowing the San Diego Church and its members to be loving, inclusive, and embracing of all people, as well as be wonderful examples of your unconditional love. Let the church continue to be filled with love and joy to help heal the hearts of those seeking to be saved. Fill the church, its ministers and members, with laughter and harmony to help increase the joy in the lives and souls of those who come into contact with the San Diego Church, its ministers and members. We ask for your guidance that before December 31st, 2024, we will have a new church property, and that you will take the lead in finding and rebuilding the church Reverend Norikazu Yukawa established. This church will not be dependent on others. We, the San Diego Church Ohana, will cling to you and trust in you to rebuild our church, but it will be one that is based on you and is kami-centered. Today, we use this opportunity to bring to fruition your desire to live the teachings as your beloved children, realize the blessings and favor in our lives, and practice our faith. Allow us to continue encouraging each other in the practice of faith, as well as share the teachings with others in order to help kami save people. As this prayer comes to an end, we pray that the blessings and favor of today's service is granted and received by all here today, and those who could not be with us. Ne ke aloha kumehana. Mahalo anuye, our beloved Ikigami Konkō Daijin. Now, please raise your heads. Chido tomoni haire, 4 sincere claps along with the head officiant. Please open your prayer books to page 8 for In Praise of Konkō Daijin. In Praise of Konkō Daijin. Ikigami Konkō Daijin sama. Ikigami Konkō Daijin sama. Reverently we invoke your name. You, our founder, practice a true and diligent faith. You devoted yourself to Kami and were given blessings divine. Then a world opened before you, revealing the truth that Kami needs us as we need Kami. You accepted Kami's wish to give your life to mediation. Thus, the way of mediation of Ikigami Konkō Daijin was born. Countless numbers were saved, and people's burdens were lifted, and Kami too was fulfilled. The divine will was thus revealed. Kami thanked and praised you, Konkō Daijin. Years passed and the world changed. Hardships came one after another. But you were steadfast in your faith and followed Kami without question. Finally, it was revealed, the name of Tenchi Kane no Kami. And Tenchi Kane no Kami said, I send Ikigami Konkō Daijin to bestow divine blessings and teach those who pray that Kami needs humanity, as humanity needs Kami. This great truth, Kami will flourish and prosperity be assured from generation to generation. You, our founder, served in mediation day and night, urging those who sought you to practice faith, receive blessings, and become one with Kami. You devoted yourself to fulfilling Kami's wish that everyone be saved and become a Kami. Kami praised you, Konkō Daijin, for saving Kami and humanity. You completed the 100 days devotion and left this physical world on the day Kami said would be, Konkō Daijin Day. Humbly, we give thanks to you for the way of mediation that has been handed down from generation to generation. your disciples and theirs in turn. The way has spread far and wide. We are given wondrous blessings and filled with endless divine favor. We reflect on your life with love and reverently praise your great virtue. Prayer for the ending of the novel coronavirus pandemic. 日神金光大神様天地金の神様。日神金光大神様天地金の神様。We offer our hearts of appreciation for your love and virtue as we are allowed to live in this very moment. Currently, the pandemic is rapidly spreading throughout the world. The novel coronavirus pandemic is causing much concern and raising anxieties amongst people and nations. Thus, we offer our hearts and prayers to you to end this pandemic as soon as possible. Sadly, there are those who have passed away because of this virus, and we put our hands together to pray for their spirit's peace and salvation. We also pray for those who are infected by the virus to quickly heal and recuperate, in order that they may continue to contribute to society and the world. We pray for political, economical, and educational reform, so that all the anxieties and distrust we have been harboring will dissipate, and we will be blessed with societal order. For those that are suffering in the midst of this pandemic, please allow their faiths to be resurrected and their livelihoods be restored. Thus, now more than ever, we commit to reviving our hearts of appreciation, having a heart of kami, and praying for and guiding others. May we all be awakened to your truth that a faith that helps others helps ourselves. Use us to help you in this crusade to end this pandemic and bring peace to this world. It is our sincere prayer that the people of the world will not only have peace of mind, but also live happily, safely, and healthily. 日神金光大神様天地金の神様。日神金光大神様天地金の神様。Chido Haide, 4 sincere claps. Chido Haide, 4 sincere claps. Please open your prayer to page 11 for prayers to the departed souls. Spirit, those who have gone before us, you were given the gift of life in this vast and endless universe. You discharge your duties faithfully, each according to your span of years. You will be remembered eternally. Your lives be told from generation to generation, honored as the foundation of society and the roots of our families. We revere you as the ancestral spirits of our homes, our own divine spirits. We beseech you, stand by each and every one. Receive the favor of Kami and help us to fulfill our tasks as people of faith. That we hand it down to all generations, that we may live in peace and prosperity in us, guidance. Please bow your heads in prayer. 道の奥義を極めたまいぬ。くってこの道を人のように広く咲いて、悩みを救い助けんと、人を助けて、己が助かるのん道、人を喜べば神喜びたも男ように、神名を捧げ尽くしたまいぬ。金光教大阪教会初代、白神や広間道分けの御事の御霊の神、二大教会長白神道置きや高根の君の御霊の神、金光教道広教会初代、長木須田七入士豊木牛の御霊の神、金光教難波教会初代、本土逸垣藤森焼高君の御霊の神、金光教東京教会初代、北徳三郎東の道分け牛の御霊の神、大教会長畑はじめ牛の御霊の神、三大教会長畑清牛の御霊の神、三大教会長夫人畑久美子姫の御霊の神、ありがとうございます。天のご霊殿に御心も麗しく静まります。金光教サンフランシスコ教会三大教会長松井文雄牛の御霊の神、三大教会長夫人松井文子姫の御霊の神、金光教玉水教会初代川安太郎三牛道照二柱内の御霊の神、初代夫人湯川秀沖たらし道照姫の御霊の神、大教会長湯川茂牛の御霊の神、大教会長夫人湯川富雄姫の御霊の神、三大教会長湯川康夫牛の御霊の神、三大教会長夫人湯川真理子姫の御霊の神、金光教銀座教会初代川誠一牛の御霊の神、初代夫人湯川津也姫の御霊の神、大教会長湯川信直牛の御霊の神、ありがとう。サンディエゴの広き陶器身を思い持ちて、一の御光をわまかがし、支援の徳を国かがし、安取り次の技務め、金光教サンディエゴ教会初代川則和氏の御霊の神、ありがとうございます。川家、土井家、牧野家、高橋家、白石家、半家、ペティツ家、ブスケ家、ビリンツ家、中尾家、八田家、渋谷家、今岡家、先祖代々の御霊の神、ありがとうございます。 ハンドリ十平、の御霊の神、ハンドリシモン、姫の御霊の神、レシマ力松の御霊の神、レシマヤソウジ姫の御霊の神、レシマ梅王の御霊の神、大坪亀吉牛の御霊の神、石渡春子姫の御霊の神、遠い沙王牛の御霊の神、後藤智代姫の御霊の神、枝足貞子姫の御霊の神、湯浅久姫の御霊の神、生正幸牛の御霊の神、生菊江姫の御霊の神、生京子ドルフィー大戸寺の御霊の神、高橋春子マーガレット姫の御霊の神、安武光子姫の御霊の神、長井真紀夫の御霊の神、ゲートクロウ牛の御霊の神、石松梅子姫の御霊の神、清水幸喜彦の御霊の神、大場愛子姫の御霊の神、大場正則牛の御霊の神、坂井春子姫の御霊の神、坂井和子姫の御霊の神、道光姫の御霊の神、大田玉姫の御霊の神、高橋須磨子姫の御霊の神、吉高龍右衛門牛の御霊の神、ありがとう。宮井家、スピース家、キス家、ペレア家、ポスカ家、白家、伊藤千尋の家の御霊の神、服部家、安林家、ミク家、グラン家、フィーリ家、野添家、フランク家、佐野家、ジュイラティ家、須藤家、野口家、月家、長島家、デイベス家、ブライアン家、デロウェイ家、上家、牧野家、ソダ家、田中清信の家の御霊の神、中義雄の家の御霊の神、坂東光弘の家の御霊の神、谷口小波の家の御霊の神、和佐助家、大野家、飯森家、キャルフン家、藤本家、伊藤和子の家の御霊の神、森家、ベルチェル家、ハミンズ家、福田家、恵子の家の御霊の神、ヘッ家、ポーツメン家、アイゼックス家、マーカワ家、モーリス家、オールダー家、原家、坂田家、ズンモル家、ホリンズワース家、ラタ家、ブラウン家、テプナッパ家、ジョー家、松井、松野家、あった家、ゴースゴギルドー家、塚原、戸塚家、中田家、沖本家、橋家、中野、山家、青野家、山城家、森里家、羽生家、森本家、小垣家、三家、本家の交通かよよの親たちからやかもろもろの御霊の神たちにつく御礼をし上げます。三代北三代中高三に還元にあるもろもろ先祖代々御霊の神もろもろの御霊の神様につく御礼申し上げて祭ります。The San Diego Church County, the state of Arizona, state of Nevada, state of Texas, state of Hawaii, and Estados Unidos Mexico. This morning we take the opportunity to remember and honor the Ikigami who passed away in the Konkō father of the founding Konkō Church of Hamabizu.湯川秀礼の御霊の神、本校教南摩教会初代夫人、Founding Minister's Wife、本の上、うまきま心の姫に、本校シャトル教会初代夫人、 founding minister's wife of the Seattle Church. Eldest son of the second head minister of the Tengachaya Church, 清水幸喜真心三則彦の御霊の神。浜川モーレス、玉菊メリーの御霊の神。スピーズ・リチャード、カブト・ウキナの御霊の神。エリザベス・ヒルの御霊の神。山本優の御霊の神。エドワード・エイジン、ヤントの御霊の神。Together, the San Diego Church in North County, Ohana, offer our hearts of appreciation to all of you for all you have done for each of us, society, and the world. We thank you for continuing to be in and part of our lives. We offer a special prayer of appreciation to the following mitama who are celebrating honorary years. Yuka Yahide no mitama no kami. 140 years. Elizabeth Hill no mitama no kami, 175 years. Amaka Morris, Amagiku no mitama, Edward H. Miyamoto no mitama no kami, 30 days. To all the mitama called upon this morning, we thank you for your many years of watching over, guiding, protecting us every day. Thank you for embracing us daily with your love and warmth. We know that there you shake your and wonder, what are they doing? We all apologize that sometimes we just do not know what we do. However, we ask that you please continue to embrace us with your love, understanding, and virtue. We implore you to help and support us to never give up in regards to the challenge of life. Guide us to turn our hearts to and come. Please walk with us and guide us. Have a heart that embraces all people, regardless of race, nationality, size, sexual gender, age, patient, etc. Please guide your descendants of church to learn more about our teachings of love and humanity. This morning we pray that the who have passed away, tragedy to war, hate, natural disasters, wisdom, accident, illness, discrimination, crime, or other tragic needs. Just offer our hearts and prayers to all of you, so that you may find peace, healing, and your way into the bosom of Kenchi Kanakami. It is your prayer that along with Kenchi Kanakami, you will help heal the wounds of the hurt, comfort your other family members whose hearts are broken. Finally, we ask that you please join us in creating a world of not acceptance, tolerance, instead of love, so no other tragedies, hate crimes, and wars will take place. Please return to Ten Kami-sama's bosom of grace and mercy. Receive Ikigami Konkō Daijin 23. Practice true faith with your descendants, and open your hearts to Kami's love, truth, true okage, and virtue. And walk together joyfully and in appreciation with your descendants in faith. As this prayer comes to an end, we ask that all mitama honored this month, as well as the families of all mitama called forth, that you please receive our prayers, offerings, and hearts. May aloha pumehana. Ma. Now, please raise your heads. 人ともに拝礼。Four sincere claps along with the head officiant. Chido K, please it's in prayer. The late Dick speaks Kabuto Okina no Mitama no Kami. It is hard to believe that tomorrow, October 20th, 2020, will make 1 year since your passing. This Ohana of the San Diego there share our warmest aloha with you. Your presence and delicious meals, missed not just by video, but by all the members of the for the San Diego ceremony for the you will be honored along with Dr. Katsumi Miyagi and Madam Mitsuhiro Bando as those who contributed to the faith. We ask that you please continue to watch over your darling, keep her strong and healthy, talk with her, be silly with her, and love her as you always did. Whisper I love you to her every morning and every night so that she knows you are protecting her. Watch over your daughter Vivian. Help her in all aspects of life, from work, caring for Kimio-san, cleaning, taking care of the bills, cooking, her own health, and her own happiness, as well as her private life. With Dr. Miyagi and Madam Bando, please watch over the faith community here in the San Diego area, as well as our members in Arizona, Texas, Hawaii, and Mexico. Take care of them and help them to keep their hearts focused on Kami-sama. Please watch over Todd Sensei as well. Keep him healthy and help him to lose weight. Keep him strong. Help him to overcome obstacles that seem insurmountable. Give him your determination and strength when things get rough. Guide him in doing the proper actions and saying the right words that will help others in need. Help him to gain the financial strength so that will help rebuild the church into a Tamamizu/Kaiwa/Abeno of the North American diocese. Please accept the offerings placed before you as a simple token of our love and appreciation. Dick, each of us truly misses you. And from the bottom of our hearts, on behalf of your Ohana, the San Diego Konkō faith community, Reverend Joanne Tolosa and Reverend Masao Yukawa, I offer my sincerest and warmest heart of aloha and appreciation for all that you are and all that you have done, and all that you continue to do for all of us. Me ke aloha pune hana, mahalo anui e. Okay. Now, please raise your heads. Chido Toboni Haire, 4 sincere claps along with the head officiant. Please open your prayer books to page 36 for 祖先三時。祖先三時。よいよのおやは、笑いえんの神はが神と心尽くして、いつきまつらな心尽くして、いつきまつらなとときみよやの神たちよ、海の子のために家の柱を沈めたてたまい初子のために世のなりわいを守り助けたまい隠り世の見えぬ境にましませども右尽くしみの御心は映し世にたわらせたまわず先見たまのまさきく先はえたまいくしみたまのくしみに恵みたまいて志は巻の柱の動きなくなりは火は結ぶ津波のゆるびなく真心清らに励み努めしめたまいうからやわらぎあいて日にけんにうらやすく楽しましめたまいついに移し世のことを得て神の御門に参らんときには必ずしも迎え取りたまい見尽くしみよこむらしめたまわんものと神の御りの大変なるを確かにかたじけな耳をやんの恵みのおぼろげならぬを嬉しみ喜び申すことを見心も涼やかに聞こしたまえと申すあなくしびのみおやのあなくしびのみおやのみあまあなととのみおやの神あなととのみおやの神一度入れ for sincere claps。一度入れ for sincere claps。まだ好きかけて祈らないよ世の親みおやの神の支配よまだ好きかけて祈らないよ世の親みおやの神の支配よ一度共に入れ for sincere claps。 So, Haide. Please open your prayer books to page 6 for recitation of Tenchi Kakitsuke. 日神金光大神天地金の神一心に願え、影は我が心にあり、今月今日で頼み。Pray sincerely with all your hearts. Be one with Kami. Kami's blessings begin within, hearts grateful and caring, in harmony and joy. Look to Kami always, now and forever. On this very day, pray. Please close your prayer books and receive the Rikkyo Shinden or the Divine Directive. With the completion of this sacred staff, I will end your farming career. Please understand. When you're out farming, the person at home has to go out and call you whenever someone comes to give a request. And after you relay the request, you have to go back out again. You have to keep going in and out of the field. This gives you little time for farming, and the worshiper must also wait for you. Both you and the worshiper are being inconvenienced. Won't you stop farming? When you were gravely ill at 42, the doctors gave up hope. Everyone worried about you. You prayed to the Kamis and Buddhas who were blessed with complete recovery. Regard this event as your death. Dispel all desires and assist Tenchi Kane no Kami. Also, your wife should consider herself a widow. This is better than being a real widow, as she can still talk to you and discuss matters. She should take the children with her to do the farm work. There are many people like yourself who have sincere faith in Kamis and still have many problems. Help these people by performing mediation. This will help Kami and save people. People exist because of Kami, and Kami exists because of people. Thus, Kami supports people as Kami's children, and people support Kami as their parent. There will be eternal prosperity through Ai-o Kakyo, mutual interdependency. 一度入れ 4 sincere claps. Thank you very much. I'm going to come over there because my stuff is over there. So I'll be there in just 1 second or 2 seconds. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's been happening a lot, even with my online classes with the audio breaking in and out. I'm sorry about that. Good morning, and hopefully the audio won't be breaking. Oh, this is a problem I've been having with my online classes. So today is our Ikigami Konkō Daijin Grand Ceremony, and today, the sermon for today is I took the title from Reverend Hideshima, and I took this title from Reverend Hideshima because I thought it was so powerful, and I wanted to use something powerful and bold. So I titled today's sermon, "Even in the midst of hardship, love never stops." And I did that, and it says, and thank you, Hideshima Sensei. That is the whole title for my sermon. And I chose this because I thought it was so apropos to everything about Konkō Daijin and our faith. When we talk about Konkō Daijin, we have to start off at the very beginning. And the beginning isn't with Konkō Daijin. The beginning actually starts, and I was happily, and for those of you who will be staying for the Japanese sermon, you'll hear Reverend Koichi Yukawa talk about this. And this was the first time I heard about this, and I thought it was so powerful. And I don't know why I've never included or done this, but it was really powerful. When we think about our foundation, it doesn't start with Konkō Daijin. It doesn't. It starts with his parents. It starts there. Koichi Sensei tells the story of when the founding head minister of the Konkō Church of Tamamizu went to headquarters with a Dantai Sampai, or a pilgrimage with his believers. And he talks about how when they got to the Konkō Daijin's grave, that after praying in appreciation to Konkō Daijin, he would turn around. Now, Konkō Town, if you've ever been to Konkō Town, there's a north and a south, and it's split in half by the train tracks, by the JR Railway train tracks. The northern part is called Urami Shinden, or Urami Shinden. And the southern part is, well, there's different regions, but Otani. Let's just say, to keep it simple, Otani. And Konkō headquarters is located in Otani. Well, Reverend Yasutaro Yukawa would turn around and pray, face the Urami Shinden's area, the north part of Konkō town. And he would put his hands together in appreciation and pray to Juhei and Shimo Kandori. And I thought, why have I never done that? Why have I never thought about that? You know, we have so many examples of how our Konkō Daijin, even though he was adopted into the Kawate family, we have so many examples. There's so many examples of how he never forgot his parents, his own birth parents. In fact, in one story, it says that he would often go in to visit him, but in one particular event, he saw that his birth father's slippers were tattered. And he had brand new slippers on. So before leaving, before he left, he said goodbye to them. He took his birth father's slippers and he gave his brand new slippers to his birth father, and he went home. This kind of powerful Aiyo Kakyo spirit is so strong. That kind of relationship is so powerful. You know, if you've ever read the book, The Celestine Prophecy, if I'm correct, there's one of the prophecies talks about the power of mutual love, power of mutual positive thoughts, where one side loves another person, the other side loves another person so much that that particular bond, that particular energy multiplies exponentially. And I believe that's the kind of relationship he had with his birth parents, with his siblings. And we have to start there. But we know that Konkō Daijin's life was not all ice cream. I say ice cream, sorry, I love ice cream. By the way, Baskin Robbins now has daiquiri ice cream again, so just saying. But I digress. Konkō Daijin had 7 deaths in his family. And this is while practicing faith. While practicing faith, he has all these deaths that are occurring. How does one practice a faith, believing in Kami-sama, knowing that Kami-sama is this benevolent deity, when one death after another death continues? Hardship after hardship. You have a son who's sort of a playboy on the side, kind of doing his own fun things. I mean, if it was me, I would have tapped to that kid, like, what the heck, what are you doing? But Konkō Daijin didn't. Instead, Konkō Daijin continued to have a relationship with Kami-sama. What should I do? What is the next step? I don't know how to deal with this kid. And I think that's so powerful. Why? We have to ask ourselves, why? And yet, Konkō Daijin is not the only one who's been through these things. You know, we have different examples of how through dark times, people have felt Kami's love and have used that love to pull through, to pull through these dark times. For example, one of the founders apostles, Reverend Takahashi, you know, infertility now in present day society, we know that infertility is not just a female issue. It can be a male issue. Back then, infertility was a female issue. It was always the female that was the problem. And in Takahashi Sensei's case, she was infertile, and she was receiving so much negative feedback about why she couldn't produce a child. You know, I'm going to be honest here. You know, I recently was thinking about Takahashi Sensei, and I thought, gosh, I wish I was her best friend at that time. Because if I was her best friend at that time, I would have gone up to her in-laws and told her in-laws, what? You got a problem? Let me tell you what the problem is. Could be you. What if her husband was the problem? You know, he could have low sperm count. What else? And I was thinking, gosh, I'd like to slap some people in the head. How dare you put all that blame on top of her? And yet, much like Konkō Daijin, Takahashi Sensei's faith is way beyond mine. Because I would have been like boom, 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 but her faith is beyond mine. She took that in, and during these dark times, focused on Kami-sama, focused on giving appreciation to Kami-sama, focused. And I did I did one of my papers for the Research Institute was on female apostles and disciples of Konkō Daijin, and her church was known as the church of safe childbirth and fertility. Not church, sorry, shrine, a shrine of safe childbirth and fertility. That at one point, 10,000 people had come to receive her toritsugi for safe childbirth or fertility. But she's not the only one. One of a minister that I highly admire, someone whose life just embodies that of faith, is the late Reverend Koda. Reverend Koda is the founding minister and the last minister of the Konkō Church of Razu. Razu is located at the borderline between North Korea and China. And it was there that she opened her church. And she was so dedicated. She truly believed that her mission was to be there to help the people there. So when Japan ended up leaving that occupied territory, she sent her children away. Her children actually wrote that my mother was so stubborn. She refused to move from their spot because she believed that it's the people who needed prayers and toritsugi there, and that she would not give up. She would give them an education. Because one of the things that she did in the Kitakyushu city was she founded a school just for those of Korean ancestry, so that they could get an education, learn Japanese, learn the rudimentary type of education that's necessary to function in society. She did all of that. And then she went and founded that church, and she refused to move. And I cannot imagine the heartache and pain between a mother and a child having to leave their mother, knowing that they don't, what the unknown was going to be. We know that she passed away many years ago. And in a letter if I'm correct, it's from the Red Cross, it said that she was cared for to her very dying days. That the people in her village never forgot about her and remembered what she sacrificed for all of them. But in those days, how does one in such dark times continue to know and believe that Kami-sama's love is guiding them through each of these struggles? We have only to look here at the San Diego Church. We have only to look at our parent church's founding minister, the Reverend Yasutaro Yukawa. At the time Yukawa Sensei started practicing his faith, he first went to the Konkō Church of Osaka. And then he was so touched and so impressed by Reverend Shiragami Shinichiro. I think it was the second Shiragami Shinichiro, that he went on to meet the second Konkō-sama. He began practicing his faith and practicing faith. But while practicing faith, he lost his eldest son, Wakanosuke, and his second daughter, Masumi. It was third Konkō-sama who said for him to open a hiromai, open a church, which he did. And it's during that time then he lost his third son, Taro. He lost his fourth son, Naomasa. And then he lost his mother, Sato. Death after death, much similar to the founder. Death after death after death. And yet, Yukawa Sensei persevered, knowing that Kami-sama's love is there, that there must be a greater reason for all of this. But what was that greater reason? How do these people know that through this darkness, Kami-sama's love just persists and doesn't stop? You know, today's sermon, as I shared, is from, the title is taken from Reverend Rikiwatsu Hideshima. And I shared with you at our memorial service that at one point in time, I cut him out of my life. When I learned that he had converted to Christianity, I thought, what? Why? Cut out. I hated him. The word hate is apropos, and it's so it would have been apropos. And in February, when Spirit moved me, it kept moving me and moving me, and I felt that it was His Spirit to learn more and more and more about Him. I couldn't help to think, oh my gosh, my heart went from hate to love and compassion, learning what him and his family have gone through. And I truly believe that his mitama kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me to learn and tell his story. You know, Hideshima Sensei did not come straight from Japan to North America. Little known fact, he became a minister at the Konkō Church of Amagi. And then he became the assistant head minister at the Konkō Church of Daijin in China. I'm not sure where Daijin is, but in Daijin in China. And then he came to Seattle. 6 years into his propagation missionary efforts, his beloved wife, Yasoji, passes away. And, you know, I believe that he met his wife, not at Amagi, not in Fukuoka, but I think he met his wife in China, only because Yasoji-sama comes from, is originally from Shizuoka Prefecture. And so I believe that they met in China. His beloved wife, right after bearing their third child, passes. And when I read what the title of his sermon was in Japanese, even in the midst of hardship, love never stops. I had such profound respect for this man who continued for 29 years sharing this faith. This man was incredibly brilliant, so compassionate. And from what things I have read, he had such a pure and soft heart. And he shared that with so many. And he shared that with me. But he knew that even in these midst of this darkness, this hardship, Kami-sama's love doesn't stop. You know, this pandemic is, let's just be blunt, hashtag COVID sucks. I'll be the first to admit that. But you know, I believe that even in amongst this darkness, there is good that has happened. There are things that have grown from all of this, truly grown from all of this, and there is good. You know, in all of my teaching, I can't say that this pandemic is the darkest of times. The darkest of times was my second year of teaching, when after literally, I think it was a day or two after a field trip we had taken to San Jose, Japantown, one of my students passed away, and she was only a freshman. And I was in tears. And I remember going to church that day, because I was going to church every single day in San Jose. I went to church every day. And I remember I went to church, and Ishibata Sensei opened the door, and she just saw my face, and she said, "You don't need to pray. You come straight to the Kekkai." And she knew something was wrong. And I shared with her what was wrong. And it's hard to believe that is, gosh, that was in 2003, that was about 17 years ago. And yet I still remember this beautiful, beautiful child, this very fascinating young woman. Her parents were originally from Hawaii, and that's why I think we got along so well, her parents and I as well. I shared everything with Haruko sensei, Ishiwata sensei, and I will never forget her words that she shared with me. She told me that if you love your children the way you have, then you have no regrets at all, for that child is saved. I think for each of these people, when it comes to Kandori Juhei and Shimo, when it comes to Konkō Daijin's, the death of those children and animals that died under Konkō Daijin, Takashi Tomie sensei, Koda Tama sensei, Hideshima sensei, who lost his youngest son at such a young age, at the age of 36, if I'm correct. At such a young age. I think Ishiwata sensei is right. If you loved on these people so much, they are saved. And this love is being showered upon us now by Kami-sama. Even in the midst of these times, when we give love, as the Celestine prophecy states, when we give this love out, that love is returned back to us, and this love, that positive energy is exponentially grown. And that love that we give out, Kami-sama gives us that exponential love, that exponential protection, the exponential intervention. You know, there's a teaching from Kondo Fujimori that says, people say that Kami has deserted them, but Kami never deserts people. People desert Kami. And I think all of these wonderful examples I've shared knew that. We, as human beings, when amongst all this negativity, when negative things happen, the first thing we do is we blame God. We blame Kami-sama. We blame a deity. When everything good in our life is happening, we don't blame anybody. But when something bad happens, the first people we blame is God or Kami-sama. But instead of doing that, these individuals said, no, we cannot desert them. My aunt, the Reverend Haruko Takahashi, at one point, the internment camps disturbed her so much that she sent a letter for Toritsugi with the third Konkō-sama, asking, should I repatriate myself back to Japan, even though she was never born in Japan? Konkō-sama responded, the decision to return is yours alone. My aunt made the decision to stay. But it wasn't without any more hardships. She had applied for parole during that concentration era. The parole was denied, except the person in charge of parole said, Haruko, if you give up your faith, we'll grant you the parole. She said no. She applied for parole a second time. It was denied. The person came back. Haruko, you give up your faith. We will grant you your parole. My aunt said no. The third time, she applied for parole. It was granted. My aunt knew, even though my aunt's faith wavered, as I would not doubt a lot of ministers, their faiths wavered. Even mine from time to time knew that clinging to Kami-sama was all that we had. All that we had was clinging to Kami-sama. Finally, let me share with you. You know, I read in the Norito to Kami-sama back here, to Ikigami Konkō Daijin-sama, about just before he passed away. A revelation that was given to him before he passed away. From the book of Revelations, the Oshirase Goto Oboecho, let me read to you that passage. It's a different passage. The one I did there is from a different source. This is from the book of Revelations. It says, Kami-sama instructed, do not drink tea and do not eat rice today and tomorrow. You may have only water and biscuits. For the sake of all people and to save those who give me requests, I sacrifice you. This is for the eternal dignity of Konkō Daijin's virtue. You know, when Konkō Daijin was sick and he was on his deathbed, You have to wonder, well, what's he thinking? And yet, Kami-sama says, for the sake of all people and to save those who give me requests, I shall sacrifice you. This is for the eternal dignity of Konkō Daijin's virtue. We are so fortunate that due to Konkō Daijin's sacrifice, his faith, and his legacy, we have Konkō Kyohi. We know of these beautiful teachings. Many people have an issue with the word sacrifice that is written in here. Unfortunately, they were not there when that word was determined. I was. Let me share with you why even I, whom helped to make the final vote, agreed to sacrifice. When we were finishing the final portion of this particular book, we got to that last section, and that last section, I remember we probably started it at 11 o'clock. And immediately, Reverend Moto Tanaka said, I don't like this word, sacrifice, we need to take it out. It is a bad word, it is a terrible word, it is very Christian-based, looks very Christian, this is wrong, we shouldn't have it. And it was Reverend Fukushima said, no, it is the proper word, and it is the right word, and it is the best word that describes what Kami-sama is trying to say. And the argument between the two ministers happened, we went to lunch, and it came back all the way after lunch, all the way till we had to finish that day. And believe me, Reverend Kyoji Konkō, Reverend Tomoko Teramoto, Mr. Yasuda was there, Tadao Yasuda was there, Reverend Mitsaki Matsumoto was there, and I cannot remember if there was anybody. Oh, Reverend Michito Miyake was there, and myself. And we were all stuck. We didn't know what the proper thing was. We didn't understand it. I think for us, we didn't understand that. The next morning, we started bright and early. Well, at 10 o'clock. If bright and early is 10 o'clock, but bright and early. And this time, Reverend Michito Miyake brought his father. I guess he had done toritsugi about what had happened, and his father wanted to attend this meeting. So his father did. And again, the argument happened between the two ministers. There was the Reverend Fukushima interpretation. There was the Reverend Tanaka interpretation. Reverend Michio Miyake, head minister of the Konkō Church, the founding minister of the Konkō Church of Tokiwadai, listened to all of this. And then he said, may I speak? Could I give my opinion about this? And he said, I agree with Reverend Fukushima. And the reason why I agree with Reverend Fukushima is this. Reverend Tanaka, your point about Christ sacrificing his life for the sins of humanity is clear. I get that. But is that what Konkō Daijin was sacrificed for? He said, no. Konkō Daijin was not sacrificed for the sins of humanity. Those sins, that neguri that we have, is our responsibility, is humanity's responsibility for us to clear off. It is not for Kami-sama to take away. It is for us to show that we have truly apologized for that. But as the teaching says, for the sake of all people and to save those who give me requests. In other words, for people to receive okage, Kami-sama's favor, to see Kami-sama's blessings, to see Kami-sama's grace, to experience Kami-sama's interventions, to have all of that. This is why Konkō Daijin was sacrificed, to totally, completely separate ideas and concepts. Needless to say, you know which side won. Because it's printed back here. But I've never forgotten that day. And it is something that has been a core foundation of my faith. A core foundation of my faith. And so, when I think about that, Konkō Daijin didn't grumble about this sacrifice. Konkō Daijin embraced it, knowing that out of making that sacred promise that as long as I will be there when you call my name, I will be there when you call my name. That is the sacred promise Konkō Daijin made to us. How much more in today's service, knowing Konkō Daijin's sacrifice, knowing Konkō Daijin's promise, Gosh, today's grand ceremony has so much meaning, has so much power. I hope that you will take this power. I hope you will take this and you remember it in your life and keep it in your heart. So when you pray to the source of our teachings, Ikigami Konkō Daijin, you will have even more gratitude in your heart. When you are at the okekkai or the mediation seat receiving toritsugi, or when you're sending an email to Tolosa Sensei or Yukawa Sensei or myself or Uzunoe Sensei, when you're doing toritsugi, I hope you now do it with a new sense of reverence, because standing behind them is Ikigami Konkō Daijin's spirit, who is there to listen to your mediation, to listen to your pleas, your petitions, your apologies, your requests, your heart. I hope today that you take that away. You take away God's love. You take away Konkō Daijin's commitment to you. And you make that commitment to Kami-sama. And you practice toritsugi. And you continue toritsugi with your minister. With that, before I introduce our next guest speaker, simple announcement. Next week, I'm not going to be here. I will be going to Whittier for their monthly service. Next month, we will have our regular monthly service. The week after will be Whittier's grand ceremony, and I will be up there for that as well. But thank you very much, every one of you, for attending today's service. Now, as I promised, we do have a Japanese, or we have a Japanese sermon as well. As stated in the flyer, in the sermon, it is Reverend Koichi Yukawa. This is Reverend Norikazu Yukawa's nephew. It is Reverend Joanne Tolosa's classmate from seminary. He's the guy who has the guy from that meat store, that meat restaurant, Suehiro, I think it is, who kept sending them meat and steak and all the time to the seminary. Anyway, I'm dishing up more than I should. But today, I would like to, I listened to Reverend Koichi's sermon the other week, and I was so touched by it, so powerful. I wanted to share that sermon with all of you. Reverend Yukawa is the present head minister of the Konkō Church of Ginza in Tokyo. His father is Norikazu Sensei's older brother, and someone had shared with me that they had a very close relationship. I'm not sure who shared that with me, but that the two had a very close relationship. And so I hope you will that you will be able to take what I took away from Sensei's sermon. So this sermon was done at the Tamamizu Church's monthly service for Ikigami Konkō Daijin. So I am going to, where are you? We're going to share screen. Oh, sorry. It's not, something's kind of funky. There it is. So, without any further ado, Reverend Koichi Yukawa.
とうございました。ただいまは御10日金光大神祭の月霊祭ともどもにおかげを被らさせていただきました。ありがたいことに存じます。それに、今日は、10月の10日、教祖生神金光大神様が、お隠れになった日というかね、お国替えなさった日というかね、世間一般で言ったらご命日になるわけね。ご本部では今日もご大祭がね、使えられておりますけどもね、今日はご命日で亡くなられて、今年で何年になるか皆さんパッと分かりますでしょうか。亡くなられたのが明治16年の、10月10日にお隠れになってね。で、皆さんに偉そうなこと言っときながら、私も朝インターネットで明治16年って西暦何年だったかって言って引いて、2020年から引いたら今年で137年なんですね。137年ね。あと3年で、教祖140年のご大祭が使えられるということでありますからね。どうぞそれだけは今日覚えて帰ってください。あと3年でこの10月10日来たら、10月のご大祭来たら140年の大祭があるんだとね、それだけ覚えて帰っていただければというふうに思います。ついついね、はっと言われてもね、今年何年だったかしらんということが多いと思いますけどもね、そういう今日はお日柄のね、10月10日のお日柄の金光大神祭ともにおかげをご覧させていただきました。今日は私東京からもう昨日だったら台風で来れないかなと思いましてね、新幹線も止まるかもしれない。もともと飛行機を取ってたんですけどもね、もう飛行機飛ばないかもしれないから、昨日大先生にちょっと連絡させてもらった時で、ちょっと無理だったらね、来れないかもしれませんと言ってたんですけど、だんだん台風が南の方に行きましたんでね、今日も朝飛行機乗ってきましたけども、ちょっと揺れましたけども、そんなに揺れることもなく、飛行機苦手な人は今日みたいにガタガタっていうだけで怖いっていうなるでしょうけど、私はあんまり苦手じゃないので、少々ガタガタ言っても、大丈夫なんですけどもね。でもおかげいただいたのは、台風の影響で、実は今日の朝の便は土曜日ですから、大阪駅満席だったんですね。さすがに今この状況の中満席で来んのは嫌だなと思ってご祈念しておりましたら、台風の影響で周りがだんだん席が空いてきましてで、結局両側が全部空いてたんで、反対が空いてたんで、CA さんに移っていいですかって言ったら、どうぞ移ってくださいって、ゆっくりと人の少ないソーシャルディスタンスで座ってゆっくりと来ることができて、帰っておかげいただいたなということをね、思わさせていただきました。先日は、私はご本部参拝は、今日が10日で第3日のご大祭がね、行われておりますね。大先生は7日の日にお参りになられて、で私は4日の日に、東京から行かせていただきました。4日だけは午前中の祭典になりますよね。東京からやっぱり前日に入って、3日の日に入って、泊まって朝のご記念行って、で、10時からのお祭りということでありました。で、今回は2名しかね、教会からは2名しかお参りができないというね。で、私と、家内ということで行かせてもらえるね。で、ご本部に着きましたら、正面の階段上がっていきましたら、また検温所というのがあって、必ずそこでね、熱を測ってください。熱を測って、はい、大丈夫ですよって言ったら、こういうシールをもらうんですね。で、それをとりあえずマスクにつけてください。それで検温して大丈夫だったって印になるね。で、そしたらそのマスクにシールをつけたら、今度は受付カードを書いてください。ね。名前と電話番号、住所書いたかな忘れましたけど、書いて2名です。で、それを持って案内所に行きますと、斎場や街道に入場できる入場券っていうのがもらえて、で、この度は斎場は指定席になってね。だから指定席券を2枚かないともらうわけですね。それで、もらって、それでようやく斎場に入っていくことができるね。で、斎場に入りましたら大きくこう書いてあって、私は600何番でしたけども、こう座席表を見るわけですね。大体これぐらいかつってね。でも入っていくと分かんないですね。大きい斎場で指定席つってもちゃんとここは何番ですよって書いてないんで、小さくこんな長い椅子に貼ってあるだけなんでね。 でようやく見つけて家内と座ったら、長い椅子にね、一番長い椅子ありますね。皆さんいつも座ってるね。あれに端っこと端っこに座る。ね。で夫婦で来てこんな離れて座んなくてもと思って、私真ん中ぐらいに座ろうとしたら家内から注意されて、ダメ。前の席の人は今度は2人じゃなくて真ん中1人なんですよ。わかります？ 2-1 なんですよ。そういう本部は気を使ってやってるんですね。特に長い椅子は近いですからね。だから2-1で、また2-1っていう形でね、そういうソーシャルディスタンスをとって、そうですね。両側の2ブロックが全部使わずで、なんか後で聞いた話で大体4日の日、それから7日の日で大体500人から600人ぐらいのお参りがね、その4日だけで500何人かなんかのお参りがあったんですかね。7日が一番多くて600人近くあったんだというような話をね、聞かせてもらいましたけどね。まあそういう形でお参りをさせてもらい。だから他の教会の先生か信者さんか分かりませんけど、番号を持ってる人がね、席が分からなくてうろうろしてる方が多かったですけどね。まあでも、そういう形でもね、ありがたいなと思ったのは、春のご大祭は誰も2枚もね、お参りすることできなかったわけですから、そういうことを考えたら、このご大祭にはこうやって2名でもね、各地方から代表者がお参りをさせてもらっただけでも本当にありがたいことだなと、そういうね、ありがたい気持ちで、お参りをさせてもらったわけでありますね。どうぞ本当に一日も早くと申しますが、ね、皆さんがね、ご本部参拝ね、団体参拝と月参拝がだんだんできていけるようにね、しっかりとお願いさせてもらってね、送り合わせのね、おかげを被らさせていただきたいなと、そういうふうに思わさせてもらいます。もうね、私は月参拝はご本部させてもらってますけども、皆さんもなかなかね、ご本部へ行けないというような状態が続いておる。で、この間もなんか親教会では7日の日に妖拝式っていうんですか、インターネットでね、画面でもって、みんなでお参りをさせてもらった。やっぱああいう画面見てね、祭司の先生が祝詞をあげて、ね、金光様の代理の方があげて、それを見させてもらえるだけでもね、ありがたいなとね、思いますね。そういうふうにやっぱり、いくら妖拝って言ってもね、やっぱり目に見えるものを見させてもらって妖拝するのと、それからうちでね、自分のうちで妖拝とかね、言ってもなかなかそういう気持ちにはね、なりにくいところがありますから、ね、どうぞ、そういうね、ご本部の妖拝式とかをいただきながら、ね、やはり先でそのね、ご本部にちゃんとね、みんなが揃ってお参りができるよ。でもそういうことを考えたら、なんでご本部にお参りをさせてもらうのか。ね。そこのところやっぱりしっかりといただかせてもらっていかなくちゃいけない。ね。もうこのコロナ禍でお参りもできなくなった。だったらもうお参りしなくてもええやないかというふうに思うんじゃなくて、なんでとね。昔ご本部参拝っていうと、私の両親とか銀座の初代の先生ご夫妻なんかいつも言ってたのはお国参りって話ですね。私小さい時に、両親とかが今からお国参りに行ってきますっていうから、どこのお国にいらっしゃるんでしょうかと、コロナ禍で海外でも行くのかなと思ってたけどね、そうじゃないですね。やはりお国参り、やっぱり自分のふるさと、ね、我々が教師様のおかげで、あそこのね、金光町の大谷村から教師様が信心なさって、そしてこのお道ができたおかげで、ね、私らの親先祖は助かっておかげいただいているわけですから、まさに本当に私らが生まれたところ、そのね、私らのおかげのもとですね、そこにお参りをさせてもらってお礼申さなくちゃいけないとね、そういう昔の人は、だからお国参りってせっせと一生懸命ね、遠くからでもね、東京なんか新幹線ない時代からね、団体列車貸し切って行ってるんですから、考えられないですね。今の人たちはね、ジパングで光号を乗ってったら、やっぱり今でも4時間、5時間ぐらいかかるわけですね。のぞみだったらもっと早いですけどもね。それでも、しんどいなとか言ってるんですけど、そういうことを考えた昔の方はね、せっせとお国参りさせてもらっておかげいただくんやね。どうぞそういう思いをね、そういう思いをなぜ、そのところをしっかりと、 いただかせてもらっていかなくちゃいけないなということを思いまして、改めて、今日は、2代の、銀座の先代の父が心の真似と題しましてですね、お話をくださった、これは昭和54年の11月21日のご大祭でお話をなされたね、生神金光大神大祭で話された話が銀座だよりに載っていたところですけど、ちょっとコピー裏表5分ぐらいですかね、かかるかもしれません。ちょっと読ませていただきます。心の真似。教祖様は安政6年、46歳のお年に立教神殿をいただかれてから70歳のお年で官上がりされますまで、金光の地におられて、生涯一度もお広前から外にお出になることなく、お月会にお座りくださって、私たち氏子をお導きくだされ、お取り次ぎをくださいました。何のためにそんなことをなされたのかと申しますと、教祖様ご自身、ご信心を始められましたのが、やっぱりいろいろな難儀なことに出くわして、何とかして助かりたい、おかげをいただきたいという願いからであったと思うのであります。しかしそれから教祖様はだんだんとおかげをいただいてこられた道筋を考えていますと、立教神殿の中にもあります通り、教祖様は42歳の時には本当に九死に一生というところをおかげをいただかれてお助かりになったのでございます。この時は教祖様は自分は凡夫で何もわからぬものでございますという自覚に立ってひたすら神様にお詫びをなさったのでございます。その態度に対し、よし助けてやると神様が言われ、そのお言葉がありましてから、教祖様の信心は明確に助けてくださる神様に向かっての信心へと一歩一歩進んでゆかれ、それからは神様との間に愛をかけようの新たな世界が開けていったのでございます。では、どういうことができていったかと申しますと、教祖様の生活の中で今までは神様に対して一方的にお願いだけして、あとは自分の思うままにしておられたのが、それからは何事も神様にお願い申し、神様と共に生活一切万事をしていかれる教祖様の生き方に変わられてきているのであります。ですから、信心なさるようになりましてからは、教祖様の田んぼはよく実るようになって、収穫は増えてゆき、また取れるお米の質も良くなっていくというおかげをいただかれました。だからみんな周囲の者がどうしてあんなに収穫が多くなるのか、あの神様を信じているからだと囁くようになり、それがだんだんと伝わって、いろいろの方が教祖様のところに見えて、その神様に頼んでほしいと言ってこられるようになったのであります。教祖様ご自身はお百姓でしたから、稲を作るのにどれだけの人手をかけ苦労してみても、天地のお恵みをいただかなければどうすることもできず、決して立派に成長していくものではないことは嫌というほど身に染みて知っておられるんです。その教祖様が今までは神様にお願いしても、いわゆる一方通行で、こちらからお願いしても何も返ってこなかったのに、42歳の時を境に、教祖様がそれまでは怖い神様だと思っておられたのが、実は助けてやる、守ってやると言われる神様だったことが分かられて、その神様にお願いして農業をされると、前に申したように守ってくださり、助けてくださる生活の面でのおかげをいただかれたのです。だから、もみでも苗でも神様にお供えしてどうぞと言うてお願いし、それから田や畑に行かれるというようにせずにはおられなかったのだと思うのです。そしてそのことをお参りに来られた方に話して聞かされたのです。ところが教祖様のもとへ参られてそのことを聞かせてもらったお百姓さんも、なるほど分かったと言ってその通りにしても、 全部が教祖様のようなおかげをいただかれたかというと、なかなかそうでもないようなんです。ではどうしてそんなことになるのかと言いますと、どうも近所のお役所さんは教祖様の言われたことを本当にありがたく受けてその通りなさったのかというと、ちょっと疑わしいところもあるんですね。ですから近所の人がどうしてでしょうかと、教祖様のところにお尋ねに行っているんです。そうすると、教祖様はその旨を神様に取り継がれると、神様は仕事の真似は誰でもできるが、心の真似ができぬからとお諭しになっているんですね。そのことを考えていますと、教祖様のおっしゃった通り、神様にお供えして、お願い申して、それを任せてもらったら、それだけで良いのか。あとは今までと同じようにやっていって、それで良いのかというと、それではいけないのですね。その人の心がそこでどうなっているのかというところが大事なことだと教えてくださっているのです。では、心の真似と言われますが、その心の真似の中身は何かということについて、初代の王先生は神話の中ではっきりと私たちに、教祖様のご信心は一切万事何事も我が力でするのではない。皆神様のおかげである。すべては神様におすがり申してさしていただいてこそできるのであるから、何事も神様の仰せのままにと教えてくださっております。私もこの頃つくづく思わせていただくことは、この教祖様の生き方についてのことでありますと。これは心の真似つって、実は上でこの後下というもう一つ繋がっていくところもあるんでね、まだ話は途中で終わってるところあるんですけどもね。今の話を聞かせていただきまして、ね、私たちは教祖様のおかげでどれだけ今信心をさせてもらっておかげをいただいておるのか。ね。じゃあご本部に行って何を教祖、池上金光大臣様にお礼を申したらええやろうか。ただ単に親先祖が信心しておかげいただきました。自分がお願いしてこれおかげいただきましたというだけではなしに、今の話からすると、改めて、実は、教祖様も最初はいろんな難儀を抱えておって、ただひたすら神様、信仰心はあったわけですね。ただひたすら、いろんな難儀なことがあったら助かりたいっていろんな神様にお願いしてたわけですね。まだその頃は、根高教の神様である天地の親神様っていうのははっきりしてませんからね、いろんな神様にお願いしたときに、ね、42歳の時にのどけという病気になって九死に一生になった。ね。で、その時に、周りの人はちゃんと日柄方角見たのに何もご無礼はしてないと言うんですけども、教祖はそんなことはありません。私は凡夫で愛わかりませんとひたすらお詫びをした。そしたらその態度に対して神様の方から、よし、助けてやると言って病気を助けてくださった。ね。でもそののどけという病気も、実は本当は後の事実で熱病で死ぬとこをのどけに祭り変えてやったのぞと。そういう言葉を神様からいただけるようになってきて、この神様は今まではたたり触りする神様、根人というね、その当時言われた神様で、根人がいないうちに不信して家建てようとか、そういうふうにやっていたわけですね。そういう神様であったのが、教祖様のそういう態度によって神様のおぼし召しとかそういう思いが分からせていただけるようになって、この神様は実はそうじゃない。助けてくださる神様や。本当に深いおぼし召しを持った天地の親神様であるということが分かえられて、それから教祖様と神様とが愛をかけようで、ね、今までは一方的だったのが、今度は一方的じゃなくてあちらもお知らせをくださって、いろんな問題をお願いしながら、神様が答えてくれながら、田んぼを耕したりいろんなことして、仰せのままにするようになって生活が変わってくるわけでありますね。そういうことを通して考えたら、私らが今こうやってお広前にお参りして、いつもお願いしておかげくださる神様っていうのは、教祖様が死 信心なさって、大谷村でそのおかげ、そこのところがなかったら、いつまで経っても天地の親神様という方はこの世に表されなかった。だから天地からの神様のおかげを受けられるようになったのは教祖様のおかげ。神からも氏子からも両方の恩人はこの方金光大臣であるというように、神様はずっと前からいらっしゃったんですけど、その神様に気づく人がいなかったんですね。でも教祖様のおかげでその神様が助けてくださる神様ということが分かって、おかげいただけるようになってきて、それがあるから金光教ができてくるわけです。本当に言ったらね。そういうことを考えたら、まず私は本部に行きましたら、そのことをお礼申さなくちゃいけない。初代の王先生や銀座の先生が教祖の奥付きに行って反対側くるっと見て、教祖の両親にまでお礼申さずにはおれないのやと言われて、神取十平下夫妻までお礼申したね。教祖様がこの世に生まれて、両親が育ててくれて、そういう子に育ててくれたおかげで、私らが一堂におかげいただけることができたんや。だから初代の王先生はわざわざ、神取家の聖火に、教祖の聖火に向かってお礼を申したね。でそのことを銀座の先生に伝えたので、銀座の先生は必ず教祖のお付きで拝礼が終わったら左後ろを向いて、教祖の聖火に対してね、両親に神取十平下夫妻に教祖様を産んで育ててくださいました、ありがとうございましたとお礼申すね。それは教祖様にお礼申すのはわかるけども、その両親にまでお礼申さずにはおれないのやというところが、初代の王先生のお話にね、初代の王先生のような難儀で、ね、苦難の続く家柄がこのお道のおかげで、教祖様のおかげで幸せの氏子へと運命を切り替えてもらった、ね、それが分かれば分かるほど初代の王先生は両親にまでお礼申さなくちゃいけないのや。そのことを銀座の先生にそういうふうに伝えたということで、私も地位からその話を聞かせてもらって、今日の話はね、形の真似ですけど、真似事であっち向いて拝礼を申しているわけでありますけどね。そういう話を聞いて、教祖様のおかげで私どもはどれだけおかげをいただいているのか、そのことをしっかりとね、ご本部に行ってお礼申させていかなくちゃいけないなということと、それが一つと、もう一つは今日の話でありますように、それまでは一方的に神様にお願いしてて、ね、大体この当時でも今でもそうですけども、神頼みって言ったら一方的なね、神様にポンポンってこれでお願いしますってね。で、一方的にお願いして、あとは自分の思うままにしていた。そうですね。大体信心とか信仰とかっていうのは困った時の神頼みでどうぞってお願いはするけども、あとは自分で勝手に思うままにして、で神様がおかげくださったとか、おかげくださらなかったとか言って後で文句言うようなね、ことにもなってますけど、そうじゃなくて、ありがたいことに教祖様の信心で一方的じゃなくて、あちらからも言葉がいただけるようになってきたね。42歳を境にね、こちらからお願いしても何も返ってこなかったのが、42歳を境に怖い神様だと思っておられたのが、実は助けてやる、守ってやると言われる神様だったことが分かられて、その神様にお願いをして農業をされると、前に申したように守ってくだされ、助けてくださる生活の面でのおかげをいただかれたのですね。だから事実、教祖様はそうやってお言葉いただいて神様にね、苗とかね、もみとか苗とかですかね、そういうものを神様にお願いしてからまかれると。今日その田んぼだけは実りが良くて収穫が良くていいお米ができるわけですね。だから事実そういうふうにお願いをしたら、神様がこうせえって言われてその通りなさっていったら、そこまでは誰でもできるっておかしいですね。そういう心向けがあれば、 できないことはない。だけども実際その後は実際事実として今日その田んぼは収穫が増えていっていいお米ができたら、今度周りの人がそれを見たら、なんで同じ田んぼで近いのに今日そのとこだけは違うんやろ。あそこは神様信心してるからやと言って、今日の話のようにいろんなことがこう前に来て、またそこで事実をお書きいただけるようにもなってくるわけですね。だけど、そこでもう一つ面白いのが、私らでもそうですね。同じ風に教会にお参りして、同じ風に同じ神様に願って、同じ風にお取り次ぎいただいているのに、こんなこと言っていけないかな。おかげはいただける人といただけない人いたり。それは神様からいただく自節というものがあるからね。すぐいただけばいいってもんじゃないですから、それはそういうのはあるかもしれませんけどもね。でも今日の話のように、今日そうおかげいただいてるからね、じゃあ同じように真似して神様にお願いして撒いたら同じようになったかって言ったらならなかったっていうね。それでおかしいと思って教祖のところに、お尋ねに行ったら、神様からまたお言葉があって、仕事の真似は誰でもできるが心の真似ができぬからと言って、そうやってやはり同じ風にやってもその方がどういう心になってしていたのか、本当にありがたく受けてその通りその人がなさったんやろうか。ちょっと疑わしいところがあるんですって父が言ってますけど、そうなんでしょうね。人から言われてあんたこまいったらおかげいただけるよって言っても、やっぱり心の中でちょっと疑わしいとか、本当にありがたい。いや、最初はね、わからないから参るから神様はおかげくださるかもしれないけど。でも本当はその心の真似、そこをしっかり心のおかげ。だからおかげは我が子にある。そこをおかげいただいていかなかったら、本当にせいぜい安心、次のおかげというのはいただけないんでしょうね。だから心の真似ということが大事になってくる。じゃあ教祖はどうなさったかといったら、そこに大事なお取り次ぎということが出てくるわけですね。私らお願いしに行く。そうすると、教祖様、教祖の時代だったら教祖様からいろいろとその神様についてお話をしてくださるわけです。それで、その話を聞いて、これからは神様と共に万事一切一緒に神様と生活をしていきましょうって話を、いろんな話を見教えをくださるわけですね。それでその人の心が変わっていくことによって、その人も助かり、家族も助かっていくというただ参って祈願しておかげいただくだけじゃない。そこに金光教ではお取り次ぎということがあって、その人のいろんな内情を聞いたら、教祖様は神様にお伺いして神様のお言葉を言う時もあるし、それからその教祖様がおかげをいただかれた教祖の中にある神様のお示し、そういうお言葉というのをその人に伝えて、神様の思いというものを伝えていくことによって、それぞれが本当におかげいただけるようになってくるわけですね。で、そういう話は何遍も私ら聞かせていただいてるんですけども、じゃあ今日の人のように心の真似ができて、そういうお取り次ぎいただくようなことができてるかって言ったら、前にも話しましたけどもね、2代の銀座の父がよく言ってました。金光教の信者さんはつったら、金光教の教会に参って、お届けしてご記念したら、それで金光教の信者かつったら、そんなことはない。金光教の信者と言ったら、今日その見教えをいただいて、その通り生活していく人が本当の信者やという父が言ってましたね。でもどこまでそんな風に思って、信心している人がどれだけいるのか。そんな教祖の見教え通り生きるとか、その生活をいただいていくんだが、そんなことはどうでもいいか、とにかくおかげだけくらいいうことが本当は多いんやないかな、というふうに思います。だから父はね、いつも一方的にお月会やお昼間に来て、一方的に神様にこれしてくれ、あれしてくれとお願いするけども、それはいいんだよ。何でもお願いしたらいいんですよ。そんな遠慮することは何でもお願いしたらね。親様ですから何でも受けてください。お願いしちゃいけないってことはない。でも父は、たまにはな、神様からの注文も聞かせてもらいなさいやってよく言ってますね。そうですね。一 一方的に私らが言いように言ってるだけではダメなのね。私らの間違い、凡夫で愛わかりませんという気持ちがあったら、お月会でも行ったら、ちょっと先生にちょっとお話聞いてもらって、先生、私が間違ってないか先生のお言葉を聞かせてもらいたい。もう凡夫では働かないから私はこういう願いしていいのかしらと、それぐらいの思いで言ったら、やっぱりちゃんと大先生感じて教えてくださいますよね。そうじゃなくて、私が間違いない。私が言うことが絶対や。お先生に何と言われるより、金光さんに何と言われるよと言っては、それはもう自分教になってしまうわけですからね。ね。だから大事なことをおっしゃって、最初に教祖がおかけいただいたのも、自分は凡夫で愛わかりませんという気持ちになって、神様がよし助けてやる。ね。本当は周りの人はね、ちゃんと日柄方角見て、ちゃんとお断り申して立てたんやから間違いないって言われるんですよね。でも教祖はそうじゃない。どっかで間違いがあったかもしれない。そういうところに神様はちゃんと分かってくださる。ね。それで実はそういう頃になった教祖様が なったおかげで教祖は神様の声が聞こえて、さっき言ったようにね、本当は熱病で死ぬところをのどけに祭り変えてやったと、そういうことを分からせてもらうことができる。本当はそういう心、受け皿ができなかったら、私らは大難を小難にしてくださったって本当は分からないんですね。小難をお取り払いいただいたら、おかげいただいたって言いますけど、大難小難にしても、小難っておかげがあるんですが、先生ちっともおかげいただけませんと。でも神様から見たら、どれだけのおかげをくださっておるのかね。いや、神様からしたら十二分に助けてくださっておるのかもしれない。そういうところを私ら分かっておるのかということを考えたら、今日の話のようにね、その心の真似というところが本当にね、できておるのか。ね。どうぞ今日のね、お話をね、改めて聞かせていただきながら、その自分自身の今心というものがどういうことになっておるのか。ね。信心してても人心になって自己中心的に信心して神様に向かっているのか、そうじゃなくて今日の教祖様の話のように神様と愛をかけようで神様と共に生活していく。だから何事も神様にお願いして我が力ですると思わずにと大先生の話があって、何事も神様にお願いしてお伺いして気をつけてさせていただく。ね。なかなか神様見えませんけども、やっぱり神様の中で私らは生活してるんですから、お披露前だけ来た時だけ格好して衣して行っても自分の家に帰ったら、でも神様がちゃんと見ていてくださるんですね。ね。私でも偉そうなこと言ってますけども、教会のお披露目に来た時にはきちっとなさって、神様や大先生に見られてるような気がするからちゃんとした衣していなくちゃいけないのって気をつけてますけども、自分の家に帰ったら、疲れたなとか、ちょっとは神様言うことを聞いてくださってもいいのにとか言って、ついつい愚痴不足ばっかり言っておりますよね。でも勝手感情を取り越しく、ね、愚痴不足はおかげのお断りであるというね。せっかく教祖池上金光大臣様が神と人、愛をかけようで生活していけ。そのお道、神様と一緒に生活できている道を開けてくださって、私らにそれを残してくださっているね。そして助けてくださる神様のお道なんですね。どうぞそういうところをしっかりといただかせてもらってね、この今月は親教会でもご大祭月でありますね。これからご大祭を迎えさせていただくのに今日のお話がね、ちょっと参考になるか分かりませんけれどもね、どうぞ本当にその根本のところ、教祖様のおかげでというところ、そのところをしっかりと分からせていただかなかったら、教祖様が今日の話をに信心して、天地神様のおもしめしが受けられるようにならなかったら、初代の大先生、大阪で助かってないですよね。初代の大先生が助かってなかったら、私は銀座の先生も助かってないわけです。それに付き従う諸々も助かってないわけですよ。そのことを考えたら、大先生がどれだけ、初代の大先生がどれだけ教祖様のご両親にまでお礼もせずにおれないというところ、そこのところを本当に分からせていただかなかったら、私らも誠のお礼ということが言えな かなということをね、改めて思わさせていただきましたね。どうぞそういうことを考えたら、やっぱりこういうコロナ禍でありますけど、しっかり願いを持ってね、どうぞ一日でも早く皆が揃ってご本部にお参りして、お礼申さずにはおれない。親先祖に代わってお礼申さずにはおれないと、そういう強い気持ちを持ってしっかりとお願いさせていただかなかったら、ね、本当に、もったいないことじゃないかなということをね、思わさせてもらいますね。ただ単にお参りができないからとか、そんなんじゃなくてね、今こんな状態だから仕方ない。僕はおきれいにしたって無理やと思うのと、創設には折れないという気持ちでお願いしたら、きっと神様が引っ張ってくださって、おかげを被らさせてもらう。ね。それがやっぱり聖を揃えた信心になってくると思いますからね。どうぞまたこのご大祭を機にね、それぞれに信心を進めさせてもらいまして、ともともにね、ご本部参拝のね、おかげも被らさせていただきたいと思います。今日はこの辺で終わらさせていただきます。ありがとうございました。天地書きつけよう。生神金光大神天地金の神神に願え。生神金光大神天地金の神神に願え。おかげは我が心にあり、おかげは我が心にあり、今月今日で頼めい、今月今日で頼めい。ありがとうございました。ありがとうございました。